Hi guys, I'm Sarah and today we are going to be talking about good old baked beans. Now, first of all, I'll cut straight to the chase. Is this recipe going to save you money? And the very annoyingly open-ended answer to that is maybe. It will depend because baked beans, the cans, the prices of them vary immensely. If you're happy with the good old sort of watery value brand ones, then it might still be cheaper to buy them in a can. If you're more a fan of the higher end stuff, the organic stuff, or the Watties, then yes, this might save you money. But above all else, it means that you can tailor the sauce to your liking. If you can only afford the cheap stuff, but you're not that keen on it, you find it a bit sweet or not sweet enough or not thick enough, you can tailor this to your tastes. First of all, let's talk about the beans. Generally, the ones you buy in a can are navy beans. Now, I've been looking all over for navy beans and they seem to be really hard to come by, just buying them, you know, dried on their own from bulk places like Binnin and that sort of thing. But they did have these which look very similar. You can use any kind of beans. There's no rule that it has to be navy beans. You could use kidney beans, cannellini beans. I think they were about $14 a kilo from my local Binnin. And of course, you buy a kilo, you buy them dried, you soak them overnight, and they increase. They basically 3 times. So I used 1 cup of these beans, soaked them overnight. I cooked them to avoid electricity. I actually cooked them on the fireplace. Now it does take quite a bit of cooking time as well. You sort of need to boil them for about a good hour. So it's the sort of thing that you would do in bulk. And of course, once you've done them and you find a recipe that you like, you can freeze them in margarine tubs or something like that. There's also no reason why you can't look into canning them yourself or putting them in jars and storing them. I have not experimented with that yet, so bear with. Onto the sauce. Now the first thing that I add in is some tomato puree. Obviously I've already opened this can, I've been experimenting. So I'm going to use about 100 grams of tomato puree into a bowl. Then I'm going to add 1 3/4 cups of water. Right, so I'm just going to start slowly heating that up. Now to that I'm going to add 3 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of sugar, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and just a shake of pepper. And now we just want to let that come to a simmer for about 10 minutes. But here's where you could have a bit of a play. You could add, I'm just going to add a little bit, like 1/2 teaspoon if that, of paprika, and another very scant sort of 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. So there we go, just put a lid on, give it 10 minutes to bubble, let the flavours all merge together, then have a wee taste test, see what you reckon. Okay, so have a quick taste of this. Oh, I added a bit too much pepper. That's alright though, I might chuck a little bit more sugar in there just to even that out a bit, but then I will put the beans in. So I'm just going to chuck all of those beans in there. I'll let that bubble. Set it on a low heat and just leave it for about 5 minutes. Been bubbling for a bit. We want to thicken this up a bit, so I'm just going to use some corn flour, any type of corn flour. I'm just going to start off with a teaspoon. I'll say a heaped teaspoon in a small amount of water. little bit thicker. Add a little bit more corn flour. As I say, you just, from here, you really just want to be tasting and adjusting, and maybe just making notes as you go, so that next time you don't have to do so much tasting and adjusting unless you want to. The beans and the sauce sort of taste like separate entities, if you know what I mean. The longer, you know, if you let it cool down a bit, let it congeal a little bit, the beans will, they'll start over time tasting more like the beans you get in a can. So in a way, you're actually better to pre-prepare this in a big batch and then use it as you need it, because you're going to allow them to sit and the beans will take on the flavour of that sauce. I'm hoping I've inspired someone to have a crack at that. Hopefully it will save you a bit of money. If not, you might just have a bit of fun experimenting. But there we go. Have fun out there. Stay awesome. We'll see you next week. Bye. Oh yeah.